Hello Hacienda La Puente, this is Ricardo, one of your Tech Tosas, and today we bring you some updates to our iPad initiative. So what I want to show you is that we have some new apps that you are going to love. The first one, I have the icon right here, and this is called the Student Jam. And if I can show my screen so you can see it, you will be able to see that you have this little app right here, and I'm going to actually highlight it, okay? This is the Jam, Jamf, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, for our students, and you also have the one for our teachers right here, okay? So you have both of them right there, and you should be able to see them, okay? So again, Jam for students and Jam for teachers, okay? Let's go ahead and start with the student one first, okay? So I'm going to click on the student one, which is the little book right here. I'm going to click on it. They're going to be able to see a list of apps that they can automatically, without any restrictions, be able to hit get and be able to download to their iPads. These are the apps that were actually approved by our iPad committee, and any of these ones are just a click away for our students to be able to get, okay? So those are their resources. They also have the ability to update any apps that might not be updated. So you can see over here the ones that just got updated. So our students have the ability to do that too, okay? So very exciting news from our students' point of view, okay? From the teacher's point of view, we have, again, this brand new app, which is our teacher app right here. Hopefully you can see it. I'm trying to highlight it. It might not be working, but it's this little teacher one right here. And I'm going to click on it. It's the little teacher with the chalkboard. And what I want you to see is what you can do with it. So by default, when you open it, it actually has the list of your classes. So if you're an elementary teacher, it's going to have one class with all of your students in it. And if you are maybe a middle school or high school teacher, is going to have all of your periods. I'm going to go into a test classroom just because I don't have any students, so I'm going to do this with just one test student that I created, okay? And what I want you to see that in here, I have all these different settings, okay? This looks very similar to Land School Air, but it does a lot more than that. I have the ability to clear restrictions, okay? So if I went over here, I could clear restrictions. I have the ability to do remote class. We're not gonna use this, but basically you could have hit this and all of your students would have had their Zoom open and they would have gone straight to your class Zoom, and you would have been able to hold a class during distance learning, okay? But then we have this other one right here, this start lesson, okay? And it's not what you think. Basically, start lesson is gives you the ability to preset some settings that you want to apply to the class that you are in, okay? Basically, you can do it with start lesson, or you can do it with these three icons right here. Let's go to start lesson so you can see it, okay? So there's two ways of doing it. You can do it from start lesson right here. And notice that I have a biology one created, or I could create a new one. Or you can also do it, if I leave here, I can do it from home. I can have lessons. And notice that I have the ability to have one that I already created or create a new one. So maybe I teach science, biology, chemistry, and physics. So for this particular lesson, I'm going to create one. I want to tell it that this is going to be my chemistry one. Say to my chemistry. I'm going to say this is period 2. This is optional, but just for me. 2. And I can say that for this particular lesson, when I'm in my period 2, I only want to allow a particular set of apps, okay? So I only want to add RT5 for augmented reality. I only want my kids to be able to use their camera. I only want my kids to be able to use Canva student app, ClassLink, and maybe one more. I want them to be able to use Google Chrome, okay? So if I set it up through my lessons, now I'm telling it that these are only the apps that are going to be allowed. So notice that they are right there, okay? I can also say that I only want to allow some links, okay? So if I wanted to come in here, okay, and I wanted to add just a couple of links that I wanted to allow the kids. So maybe I want to allow Canva, okay? And I want to put that URL there. Let me go ahead and grab it. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find Canva. Okay, let me just grab the URL. Okay, let me go ahead and go back. And I want to add the URL. Say that's the only URL that I want to allow. So let me paste it. Okay, I can add more if I wanted to, but that's the one I want. okay, and it's gonna lock in Safari, so that's the only specific sites, okay? Or I can do it the other way where I can just lock sites that I don't want the kids to go to, okay? I don't want to allow any social media when it comes to websites. I don't want to allow any communication, any games, any entertainment, any shopping, or any music. It's up to you, okay? And these are the allow functionalities. The camera, yes. Safari, yes. Maybe I don't want the App Store. Maybe I don't want the iTunes Store, Game Center, right? And so on and so on, okay? So once I've done that, I can save it, and now I have my biology and my chemistry, okay? So what does that mean? Is that when I go back to my classes, okay, and I'm in my, let's say my chemistry class, and I wanted to start the lesson for chemistry, I will click on it. Notice that it gives me time from 1 minute all the way to 50. And I will say I want my chemistry class to start. It's going to apply just those settings that I apply, okay? So you have the ability to do it with lessons, but you also have the ability to do it with these 3 icons right here, okay? The first one is App Lock. Let's go ahead and go over App Lock so you can see what that does, okay? So App Lock, it's right there. I think I pointed it. Hopefully you can see it, okay? And then what is going to happen is that if I click on it, I want you to see what's going to happen, okay? I'm going to tell my Jamf teacher that I only want to allow my students to be able to use Canvas Student, and I only want them to use ClassLink Launchpad, okay? And again, I can say that I want that to happen for 1 minute or 50 minutes, all the way to up to 50, right? And I'm going to apply, okay? The moment I do that, what I want you to see is that I'm going to show you from the student point of view that this particular iPad, all of the apps that it has installed have disappeared, and the only ones available are our ClassLink and our Canvas Student, because that's what I told it to do, right, from the teacher point of view, okay? As we continue, let me go back, okay? Let me go ahead and be done, and I'm gonna clear all restrictions. Okay, let's go to the next one, okay? Let's go to the next option that we have. Okay, so it's clearing, okay? The next one that we have is Web Lock, okay? So if I go to Web Lock, I can click on it. Again, I have the ability to add it for 1 minute all the way up to 50. We're doing just 1 minute right now. And I wanna add a link. I'm only gonna allow the students to go to Canva, just so you see, okay? Return, okay? And now I'm going to apply it. And what I want you to see is that I'm applying this to my students, okay? And what happened, again, let me go back to the teacher app, okay? Notice that what it did, it says restricted sites. They cannot open anything right now except for Canva, that you're going to see that it's actually open already, okay? They're allowed to use Canva. That's the only one that I allowed them to use, actually. Not only does it only allow them to do that, it also, because I want you to see this, puts it on their favorites, okay? So that is the only site. You can say go to favorites, and these are the only websites that you can see right now. Just great tool to have, okay? So let me go ahead and go back. Let's go ahead and go back to our teacher iPad. Let me be done with this. Let me go ahead and clear all restrictions right now. Okay? And now let's move on to the next one. And the next one is probably one of my favorites. Remember when we told our students to shark their computers? Well, in essence, the same thing. I can tell the students to shark their iPads, or to basically pay attention to me, okay? So I can say that I want to apply this for the next 5 minutes, right? Or 1 minute or 50 minutes. I'm gonna leave it at 1 right now. And I've added my own message, eyes on the teacher, and I'm going to apply it, okay? So now what you're going to see is that my student iPad is going to actually change, and it's going to say eyes on the teacher. The student cannot do anything for that 1 minute that I've logged their iPads right now, okay? So just another great tool to have. Let's go ahead and go back to our iPad and make it bigger. Let me go ahead and done, and I'm gonna clear. And I'm clearing everything because I wanna make sure that you see all of our different features that we have, okay? The next one is the ability to install apps. So if I click on here, I have a list of apps that is just to the teachers, and I can send, by clicking on one app, I could send it to install to all of the student devices. It's pretty amazing, okay? I'm not gonna do it now, but I can do that right from here, okay? The next one, the ability to message students. There's two places where you can do this. One is from here, okay? And the other one is from the main menu, which I'll show you in a second. But if I wanted to message a student. I'm gonna go message, okay? And I'm gonna send a message and say, I don't know, are you okay? Just checking on that student, right? And I'm gonna send it. And the moment I send it, I want you to see that the student is going to see it, okay? Let me show you my my student iPad so you can see it. I'm going to send the message. It's going to appear somewhere on top. Notice how it came through. Are you okay? And it says from the teachers that send it basically. So let me go ahead and go back to the iPad. So now I've sent that message. I also have the ability to allow reply. So as a teacher, I can say, you know what? I want to allow them to reply, or maybe no, I was just trying to make sure that they were working and I don't want to allow that reply, okay? So that's just a great tool to have. You also have the ability to turn on Bluetooth. We're not going to cover that one right now, but there's great uses for it, but we're not going to worry about that one. I don't think you're going to use it in the classroom right now. I'm going to leave my class right now and clear restrictions. Wanted to show you. Again, if you were teaching middle school, you'll see all of your classes here. If you're elementary, you will see one class. You also have the ability to do messages right from up here. So notice I can click on it and I can do messages from there too if I wanted to, okay? Again, to one student or a group of students, okay? We talked about classes, we've talked about lessons. My resources, I basically, all of the apps that our iPad committee has allowed in here. So those are there, okay? App requests, if someone has requested an app, you will see the list right here, okay? And I'll show you how you can request apps, app update. Okay, anything that needs to be updated will be right there. But let's say that there's an app that you really want to use with your students. Maybe you have that student that might need support with Microsoft Translator, okay? Or maybe an app that you want to send to all of your students, okay? Well, as a teacher, you have the ability to go into the App Store, okay? I can look for an app that I want to use. Mirror 360 for me, okay? And just picking a random app, okay? I want to say, I want to get this app for my entire class or for me. I can come in here and say Mirror Assist. I can come to this little upload button up here, click on it, and I can use my teacher and say, you know what? I want this app for my entire test classroom or my system class or my math class, whatever it might be. I'm going to click on it. I can say I want it for all of my students or I want it for one particular student. And then this is going to go to our IT, to our admins, and they will be able to approve that app to be sent to all of your students or maybe just the students you selected. So these are some of the new features that we have available with Jamf, I guess with the F at the end. If you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great day.